Hello guys, I'm Sherry, owner of the Purple Guinea Art Studio, and welcome back. We're going to do something fun today with some things that were left on the palette. You know how I feel about that. And this is what our surface is going to be. This is a palette this is a palette left over that was just smeared on a little shelfie, and it's dry now, and the texture is magnificent. So let's see what we can find in it today, because I'm thinking there's a little sweet little face hidden in that palette. And we're going to work with I've got a little bit of titanium white. I love Master's Touch Thick Body. You can see how much I love it. I love it so much I could squeeze it. But there's still life left in this tube. Anyway, I do love that, and I will be using Master's Touch paints today. This is acrylic. I have a filbert size 8 that I'm going to use today. I have water. I have my paper towel, and I'm dipping it in that water, and I'm going to loosen up this acrylic white, this titanium, and I'm going to start finding this little boy's face. This technique is called a poly trip, and I'm pronouncing that probably totally incorrectly. And that, I don't know what it means, other than it may mean finding what's not there, or painting everything out that doesn't look like a sweet little face, or whatever, a sweet little whatever. It all depends. There's his little chin, and there's his little head. Now, when I'm painting a face, and this is going to be somewhat whimsical, but I am going to divide this, because I'm going to do this because I want my eyes to be the same place. And I'm going to start with that little nose, and I'm going to do just little tiny nostrils on either side, and a little dot right there, and that's going to be the nostril part of the nose, and this will all come together soon. We're gonna and I'm making then I'm connecting it, but I'm really trying not to paint too much of that color out, because I want that color to stay. So I'm gonna come on up and attach this to the eyes. Now these eyes, this little child has beautiful eyes, so I'm going to go ahead and paint a white circle, because those eyes, I'm going to set those eyes in. And like I say, this is whimsical. It does not have to be perfect. I'm wiping that brush off before I put it in my water, because if you do that, it will, that makes it so much easier and keeps your water so much cleaner. Now, see what I'm doing? I'm dipping into that water, and I am removing some of that paint, that white paint, that watered down titanium. This is going to be a cutie, but I want that color to show through those pupils of those eyes. Okay, now, so there's our little face, and there's our little nose. I'm going to be removing some of that too, some of that color off of there. And this would be a good time to have a Q-tip handy, which I don't, but this would be a great time to have that happen. So I'm removing a little bit of that nostril. I'm going to let that work for me. Now with this white, I want a lot of this color, see, to still show through. I'm making that little cute right top of the roundness of the nose right there. Can you see that? Good. And then I'm going to come up here, because that's the highlight. I'm just trying to paint the highlights. Now these eyes, they're going to have some white on either side of these eyes. So I'm going to come back in and put that white in. And I'm just going on either side. You know, an eye is really the shape of a football, that opening. And if you're farsighted like me, the eyeball itself is shaped like a football. Okay, here we go with that. let's go ahead and the ears are going to be about even with that eye. So I'm going to go ahead and set those ears in. And I'm going to start with some hair. I would love this little guy to have some really happy hair. So I'm just doing a little squiggly around his head. This will be a cute little fella, a cute little boy, looking for mischief. So I'm going to put a little bit of squiggly around there, and while that's still wet, I can go up in here and erase this line with a little bit of water on that brush because I'm using acrylic, and I can erase that, and I can get this paper towel and go in and take some of that off because I want some of that color to show through. I'm loving that color. You know, acrylic is a form of plastic, or, you know, you can wash it. And it is, it's a medium. I love oil. I love gouache. I love all mediums, but with acrylic, you can, there's a lot more freedom, I think, with acrylic. Okay, so there's our curly hair. I want him to have curly hair. Curly hair. Okay, so there's our little fella. Now we need to get these lips going. I'm going to, and this is very textured, so I'm having to be very liberal with this brush and find those lips. Okay, now for the color of this little boy, I think he is going to be a beautiful cashew with some brown mixed in. I'm looking for my translucent burnt umber. I'm going to put a little bit of that on my palette. So far now, I've just used scraps and the colors that are on this painting. And I'm going to put a little bit, just a touch of burnt sienna. And I'm going to find a little dab of cashew, which is also a beautiful color. And I don't know if I have it on this cart, so let's just proceed with this little. Okay, I'm dipping in this beautiful brown. This is a beautiful, beautiful child. Now I'm going to go up on his highlights. We're going to highlight, and I'm not concerned with covering every bit of this color that's showing through, guys. And this translucent umber, oh my goodness, it is a wonderful thing to have in your box. This is a great way to really have a good time while experiencing and learning about different shapes, because it's training your eye to see the different shapes and things, and that is really, really a good lesson to have. Okay, so on one side of his little face, the light's going to be shining. The light's going to be shining from over here because there's that yellow. Okay, now under his eye, I'm getting that burnt sienna. Is it burnt? Getting that sienna. That was yes, burnt sienna. I wanted to make sure which one it was. I'm getting that burnt sienna, and I'm putting it in with that transparent umber. And I'm coming up where his hairline is. Oh, I love him. I love him. Oh, he's sweet. And I love how this color is peeking through. You know, guys, so many people, you know, they don't understand that painting has so many different layers. A painting has a lot of different underlying layers. It's not like picking up a red and coloring. It's not like picking up a red and coloring, you know, it's not coloring. It's a lot of different layers, and different layers make the painting more realistic. If you're, I mean, but I don't put a lot of thought into how realistic something is. I just do it because I love it. And I'm loving this little guy. Okay, I'm adding some more of that burnt umber. And oh my goodness, this is just absolutely precious. Look at his little chin there. It's like a little, everything's a happy surprise at this point. He is so sweet. Now, right in here under his nose, you know, you have that little, I don't know what it's called, but you have everyone, or I'm assuming most everyone has one. It's a little dark right there in that portion of your lip. I'm going to go, I have a little dark on there. I'm going to go ahead and need to lay that ear in too. I'm not going to, see, I'm not stressing over that inner ear or anything. I'm just letting this brush kind of determine what is. You know, it's not, we're not overthinking that. We're just, this is going to be like an illusion. Okay, guys, it's like almost like impressionism, mystic. He is so sweet. This is not anyone that I know, but it's probably a combination of a lot of young boys that I know, young men, sweet young men. Okay, let's see. Now I'm going to come lighter on either side of that. And I've got to come lighter on this side of his nose because that's where the light's hitting his nose. And see, once again, guys, it's just an accident how it's happening. Now, I really want to go in there and get some of that color. I'm wetting the bottom of this brush because I really, there it runs. I really want to get, I should have had a Q-tip. This is the first time I've ever done a face with this kind of technique. Actually, I think it's probably the third time, period, that I've done this. But I want to save that blue up in those nostrils. Okay, that's sweet. Now, let's see. Let me get this some lighter on here. And lighter right there. Lighter around the edges. And this little bridge, I don't know if it's this little, the round part of your nose, of our noses. That's going to be lighter. And so far, guys, I'm just using 3 colors on this palette. I mean, this is all just what I have on this palette. Okay, now I'm loving that translucent umber up by his hair. And I'm going to leave some of that red peeking through. Oh, bless it. Bless it, bless it, bless it. Okay. This is going to be lighter on this side. I'm just dabbing into that white now. Okay, a little full cheeks. Put a little light on this cheek over here. Okay, now for the hair. Now I'm going to come in with that not burnt, but translucent umber. And I'm just going to lay him some hair in. But I'm not, you see that I'm not covering those beautiful colors underneath. You know, when I paint something, for instance, I painted a Boston Terrier the other day, and the Boston Terrier was blue. You know, it was all blue. And different shades of blue. but then you start adding the white and different colors on top, and even though the blue is under there, you don't know it, but it makes a big difference that it is. Oh, isn't this precious? I just so love this. Okay, I'm giving him some highlights in those pretty curls. I've got to cover it. Got to come back and do this side of his little face. There we go. He's got to have a little bit of eyebrow. He can't not have eyebrows. But I want them to be subtle. Those to be subtle. Now let's work on these beautiful eyes. All I'm taking is this translucent umber. And I'm doing those eyes. Oh, I so wish I'd put pink on this palette so I could have made his lips a prettier pink. Let's see. Oh, he is just a doll. Okay, I'm going to add a little light on that top lip. And I've got a real big blob of paint right there. So it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but it's happening. Oh my goodness. He is so cute. Okay, let's add some highlights on this cheek. We need a neck. Let's get a little of that translucent umber and make him a little neck. I wish I'd done this on a larger canvas. I would have loved to have done an entire outfit. That is something I will definitely have to remember next time I want to do a person. He will have an entire outfit. Okay, I have to get my light over here, even under the neck. That's our sweet little man. I'm going to give him some highlight on that ear. Now, he needs something around the corners of those eyes, just a little bit of eyelid. And a little bit in that corner. Oh my goodness, I love him. Now I've got to make this brown a pretty brown eye. But I'm being careful because I still want those other colors to show around that brown, underneath it and around it. Oh, I love him. I love him. Okay, put a little bit of light. A little bit of lightness on there. And I'm going to stop before I get finished because you know what will happen if I don't. Well, I've got my shadows on the wrong side. Let's see. This is going to be this is my lighter side over here, where the sun is going to be more so. And I don't want that so dark over there. That the bridge of our noses there, you know, it's a little lighter. There we go. That looks like the lights shine a little bit. And it's the chin, you know, the chin has a little bit of light, and this side of the cheek will have a little light. Oh. Put a little bit of light on that ear. And this one doesn't have much because I like this ear better because it has a darker, there we go, that's more defining of that ear. Okay, and I'm going to put just a hint of darkness up in that nostril. Just barely, 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 barely. And just a little hint. He has his little mouth is open a little bit. He's about to say something. And around always on the edges of everything, it's going to be a little shading, no matter if it's in the light or not. Okay, guys, I think he's done. Look, oh, I forgot his glints in his eyes. Okay. Little glint there. Little glint there. We made something beautiful today. Something beautiful within 20 minutes. Guys, this is Sherry. I'm coming to you from the Purple Guinea Art Studio. I hope you've had, I can't talk, let me start over. I hope you've had as much fun painting our little friend as I did. He has a sweet heart. And guys, I don't want you to be afraid to paint. It's only paint, but most importantly, we are all just walking one another home. I'll see you next time on the Purple Guinea Art Studios video. Bye-bye, guys.